Hi guys, today is July 10th, 2026 and this is Byte Report. Just wanted to make a quick video about some severe vulnerability that has been found in the Linux kernel a couple of days ago. This is an article from arstechnica from July 8th, 2026, so just a couple of days ago. So this vulnerability is really severe one because it affects the KVM, the Linux virtualization technologies, apps, tools, like the suite of tools that lets the Linux operating system to provide virtualization. Some of you that are not familiar with virtualization, essentially this gives the operating system capability to run multiple other operating systems within itself. So this main operating system is called hostOS. So this is the main operating system that runs other operating systems within itself. And those systems that run within some other operating system are called guestOS operating systems. So the reason to have virtualizations are multiple. There are many reasons to have virtualization. For example, to share a single physical server with multiple users, especially in the data centers, cloud infrastructure, whatever. You don't need to have to provide users, each user a physical server. Rather, you could have a powerful one physical server, and you can use these virtualization tools to provide multiple users access to that physical server. Also, it's used to test vulnerabilities, to test viruses, whatever. So you don't compromise your main operating system. So essentially, this vulnerability called SV2026-53-359 here, right here. I'll put the link in the description again of this article, so you can read in depth if you want to. It's called Junoscape, if I am not butchering the name. Let's read a bit from the Ars Technica part passage. The vulnerability affects KVM running on both AMD and Intel processors. It exploits bugs residing in the KVM guest site, the portion of the VM that consists of only resources like the OS or drivers present in the guest VM, rather than resources present on the host machine. That threat went unnoticed in the Linux kernel for about 16 years. So guys, yeah, this vulnerability was there for 16 years. Can you imagine that? Like 16 years it went unnoticed. And the severity of this is that you don't need anything else. Like the guest system, the guest site can just compromise the entire system without any issue. And so yeah, by doing so, they can take down the physical machine, like doing the DOS attack, denial of service attack, or they can compromise the other guest users, guest operating systems, and do the RCE, which is the remote code execution. So this is, guys, really a high severity vulnerability, and that is the reason why Google has paid a staggering $250,000 for this vulnerability, and righteously so, because again, anyone who has access, who does exploit this vulnerability, any threat actor that would exploit this vulnerability, could gain access to entire data centers, virtually, like take down entire data centers. And this is the reason that Google paid this amount of money. Actually, another severe vulnerability was found again in the Linux, which is a privilege escalation vulnerability. It lets low privilege user to escalate its privileges to root. Root is the main user, like the highest privileged user in the Linux operating system. So this one was paid $92,000. So yeah, there are bug bounty programs, guys, that get paid, but again, you have to find this kind of severe vulnerabilities because no one would pay you for simple things like these amounts of money. But again, these researchers do a great job to find this kind of things, because again, leaving this kind of vulnerabilities unpatched is really dangerous for the providers, service providers, users, and data integrity. Thanks, guys, for watching, listening, subscribe. You know the drill, guys. Thank you very much.